Hello guys, in this video I'll explain you about my Amazon AWS internship experience. So let's go ahead. This is Madhukiran Akreddy and I'm currently studying at Bennett University and my academic year is from 2017 to 2021. And this internship was under the guidance of Shivani R, my mentor. She's an operational manager at Amazon AWS and my company is Amazon. Yeah, so let's go ahead. So talking about the company, Amazon AWS, it's an subsidiary of Amazon, and it's Amazon Web Services provides cloud computing platforms to various individuals, companies, and the governments. And so it was founded in 2006 at Seattle, Washington, and the present CEO is Andy Jassy. It works on a pay-as-you-go basis. It's basically like any government or individual that uses resources for a particular amount of time. Based on the usage, they have to pay for that. This was the basic model of how AWS works. In last quarter of 2021, the company grew by 35%, reaching to 41.8 billion USD. So this was AWS. So, talking about the abstract about this internship, I've learned basics of a lot of AWS services and how they work and the internal of the AWS services, like how the EC2 instance allocates a particular with an OS and the instance, how it creates a new one and everything, and how we can uh, fix the issues that might occur inside this. And we have went through a lot of other AWS services and the tools that we use to fix them and all. So for this, regarding the project, we have a tool, internal AWS tool, in which we can create different scenarios. These scenarios mention about a particular issue. Like for us, we created two scenarios. These scenarios were Linux booting issue, and the other one is EBS shrinkage issue. Um, let's go to the introduction where I'll mention you about it in detail. So talking about the first scenario is Linux booting issue. Linux booting issue is like we went through all of the booting related things that might occur in, like the issues that might occur to the customer while using the Linux. They might face a different issues related to grub or related to initramfs or kernel or anything. So we did a research work on it and we created some scenario that the user has to fix that in case of a customer. And we have created the EBS shrinkage issue as well, which is normally like whenever an user creates an EBS volume, its volume was set to around 10 GB, and then he has increased unknowingly or unfortunately someone else leaving the company did some mistake or anything like that and increase the volume to 100 gigs. Because of this, their price will be increased and they have to pay a lot, but the usage was around 10 GB only. So to fix this, it's normally not possible to decrease the EBS volume from the AWS console. we have to we have different ways in this, and we'll discuss about this further in the related work topic. Let's go ahead. Now, moving to the related work, we divided this into two scenarios as we discussed. One is Linux booting scenario and the other one is EBS shrinkage scenario. So first, let's go to Linux booting scenario. In Linux booting scenario, I've gone through all the topics that related to Linux. We have six major steps in this booting, and they were starting from BIOS and ending to run levels in the Linux. So we went through all of these topics and then we tried to search for like what issues that might occur and doesn't pop up any kind of error or anything like that. So first so first we went through all of these topics and then we finalized with some topics like first suppose the BIOS boots up and directs you to the MBR, and in the MBR it has different bootloader. It has an MBR is divided into three parts. That is, first one is bootloader, and the second one is partition table, and the third one is magic number. This bootloader contains all of the drivers related to the file system and everything else that needs to load the initramfs, and so the kernel can work and access the file system. So these were the drivers that were present in the bootloader and the other drivers that need for the booting. And next, in the partition table consists of all the partitions of from where they exist, like the start sector on the hard disk to the end sector on the hard disk. These were contained in the partition table. And then we have a magic number. This magic number mentions whether the MBR is corrupted or not. It performs a kind of checksum to verify this. So this was the part of the MBR. So in this part, we corrupted the bootloader so that whenever the OS boots up, it tries to search for the drivers and the drivers weren't present. And in the user side, on the desktop side, like the GUI, it doesn't provide any kind of error there, and it just stuck at booting from hard disk. So in this way, the customer might confuse that what was the issue and how he can fix this. So this was the different one. So this was the first issue, and related to this we moved on to several other things. So talking about this scenario, these were I've explained of different ways, like how the computer OS completely boots up and where the issues might occur and how we can fix them. So let's move on to the EBS shrinkage scenario. In this scenario, as we discussed, the EBS shrinkage is not possible in case of increased volume. This is why this what was the reason for this. So we went through this, and what we collected is, first thing, EBS is a network drive. So whatever the volume, like whatever the data that was created, it was created in a separate hard disk or any kind of other storage device, and it was connected over the network. So this is not an hard disk that is directly attached to the instance. So in this case, whenever you create some kind of data and create a volume there, the volume occupies 10 gigs, and after some time, some other user or customer or any other subscriber could create a new volume, and that volume might take place from the other like from the next sector wise. So whenever you uh, add some data to this network drive, this data is not organized in a straight order, like from the beginning of the sector to the end of the sector. So in this way, you can't find a free space in this network drive. So whenever you want to decrease the volume, all you have to do is first reduce the partition size and then fix the file system. And after that, when we get the free space, this space must be removed from this volume. So this was the normal process to reduce the volume. But here, as we discussed, it's not in an organized way. We could reduce the volume, but in case of XFS and ext4 file systems, XFS file system cannot be reduced. But ext4 file system and the previous versions of it, ext2, 3, and 4, can be reduced and increased. So in this case, we can convert the XFS file system to the ext4 file system and try to shrink it as well. But in that way as well, we can reduce the file system and the partition, but after that we can't reduce the volume because it's not in an organized way, and the inner sectors can't be determined whether they are free or not, and they were not in order. So so that's why it's impossible to directly reduce the volume, but it's this can be solved by using rsync command in the Linux. Like, we can create a new volume of a desired size and copy whatever content that we require. So this was regarding the EBS volume shrinkage scenario. Let's move on to the next one. So coming to the final outcome, we have finalized some 5 scenarios. Like in the first scenario, we have finalized 5 issues in the booting scenario. So here we corrupted the MBR, that is the bootloader inside it, and then we corrupted the grub install file. With the use of grub install file, they can rebuild the bootloader and they can fix the MBR. So we removed this grub install file, and then we corrupted the initramfs file as well, which makes the kernel to not able to access the file system. And then uh, we corrupted some other networking part and the run level as well. Run levels take part in running the services on the boot. So we have 2 different system managers, that is systemd and init, and init follows in an ordered way, and system D follows a parallel execution way. So system D is much more faster, and it is an event driven kind of thing which triggers a service, and the dependent services would be run. So the final outcome will be like, we created a cloud formation template. Using this template, all the resources regarding the scenario was created, and after that we have run a lambda function that using the Python script. In this Python script creates a SSM session, and in this session all the required commands were sent to this instance, and verified whether the scenario was fixed in each case of different issues. And after that, it stores the result in a S3 bucket. So in this way, the complete scenario works and verifies the work. So these were the two scenarios that was created in the EBS shrinkage issue. In the second EBS shrinkage issue, we can fix that using a rsync as we discussed, and this can be copied with a new EBS volume, and we can fix that. We can change. We have to change the UUID value of it, and we have to um, reconfigure the grub, and that's it. That will fix the grub, and that will fix the EBS shrinkage issue. So in this way, we can do this two scenarios. So the final learning outcome is I've learned various AWS services in the internal tools to fix them, and I have to complete the AWS Cloud Solution Architect Associate certification as part of the intern, and I've learned all the culture and how the corporate of Amazon works. So this was my internship experience. Thank you for watching this video.